In 1993, in Lowell, Massachusetts, a former boxer named Dickie, famous for beating Sugar Ray Leonard back in 1978, gets interviewed by HBO. He brings along his brother, Micky, and talks about how Micky followed in his footsteps and became a fighter because he idolized him. The interview then moves outside, and Dickie proudly tells everyone that HBO is filming a documentary about his big comeback. He also brags that Micky has an important fight coming up next week. He signs autographs, takes photos with fans, kisses a random woman, and hypes things up for the camera. A few days later, the HBO crew shows up at the gym, waiting for Dickie to train Micky before his upcoming match. With Dickie missing, a local cop and family friend, O'Keefe, steps in to help Micky work out. Meanwhile, Dickie is getting high in a crack house with his buddies, replaying his old Sugar Ray fight for the 100th time. The guys praise him while they smoke, and one reminds him he's supposed to be at the gym with Micky. Dickie insists it's only 9, but when they tell him it's already 11:45, he panics, rushes outside, and sprints toward the gym. He arrives and immediately mocks O'Keefe, ordering him out of the ring so he can train his brother. The two then go hard in the ring, preparing for the big fight the next day. Dickie keeps drilling Micky on the head and body combo he taught him and won't stop talking about the Sugar Ray victory from 14 years ago. Later that day, Micky notices the bartender, Charlene, but doesn't approach her. George pushes him to make a move, telling him he's already talked her up. When Micky finally walks over, he just stares at her before they eventually start talking about his boxing career. He tells her he plans to prove himself in his next match. A random guy walks up and says something filthy about Charlene, so Micky grabs him and warns him to show some respect. Later on, Charlene and Micky talk about his upcoming fight against a boxer named Mamby. He explains his brother's strategy: hit the head, then hit the body once the opponent raises their guard, since body shots hurt the most. Out of nowhere, Micky asks her out. She questions whether he's married, and he says no, but he does have a daughter named Casey whom he visits every weekend. He asks to take Charlene to dinner on Saturday, and she gives him her number and tells him to call. That night, Micky drives to his ex-girlfriend Lori's house to see his daughter. Lori reminds him it's not his visitation day and tells him to get lost. Micky promises his daughter Casey that he's going to win his upcoming fight and move into a bigger apartment so she can spend more time with him. The next day, the whole family piles into a limousine to head to Micky's big match. But once again, Dickie is nowhere to be seen. Knowing exactly where he is, they follow the limo straight to the crack house. When Dickie realizes his mother is outside, he panics and jumps out a window because he doesn't want her to see him like that. Micky and George catch him before he can run and drag him into the car. Late that night, they arrive at the resort's international casino in Atlantic City for the fight. In the hotel room, Micky and Dickie watch tapes of Mamby's old matches and come up with a game plan. Their fight organizer, Lou, comes in with terrible news. Mamby is down with the flu and can't compete. They've been given a replacement, Mike Mungan, a supposedly overweight guy who just got out of prison. Micky argues that they trained specifically for Mamby, but Lou insists that Mungan is out of shape and should be an easy win. Once Micky sees Mike Mungan, he realizes he's not a welterweight, and he's certainly not fat. Dickie brushes it off, saying Micky can handle him because he's Micky Ward. But the fight is a disaster. Micky gets absolutely wrecked. The crowd starts taunting him, calling him a joke. By the third round, Mike is still beating him senseless. Eventually, the punishment becomes too much, and Micky gets knocked out cold. His family can't even bear to watch. Afterward, Micky sits alone in the locker room, devastated. At the press conference, Dickie bumps into Sugar Ray Leonard, now hugely successful, and tries to reminisce about knocking him down 14 years earlier. He invites Sugar Ray for a drink, but Ray politely brushes him off. Soon after, a wealthy investor named Mike Toma approaches Micky. He tells him bluntly that his family is dragging down his career by putting him in bad fights. He offers Micky a fully funded year of professional training in Vegas. Meanwhile, Alice and Dickie watch from a distance, confused about why Micky is even talking to Toma. On the ride home, everyone is chattering excitedly except Micky, who stays silent. Alice and Dickie confront him about speaking with Mike Toma, warning him that the guy isn't family and only wants to use him. Micky doesn't argue. He just listens quietly as they all head home. When they get back home, Micky tells everyone he's not sure he even wants to keep boxing anymore. They insist that ESPN owes them for setting him up with the wrong opponent and promise they'll secure him a new fight. George and O'Keefe suggest giving Mickey time to rest and letting him clear his head. Over the next few days, Mickey barely leaves his house and sinks into depression. Charlene eventually shows up at his door, and Mickey tries to hide, but he finally steps outside to talk. She demands an explanation for why he stood her up, and he says he tried calling but couldn't get through. She tells him plainly, either take her to the movie or stop wasting her time. The next day, Mickey brings Charlene to a small, rundown theater far from town. Charlene immediately questions why he dragged her so far to watch a dull, subtitled movie. During the film, Mickey dozes off, annoying her even more. Afterward, she confronts him again about choosing a boring movie in such a remote place, asking if he's hiding her from some secret girlfriend. Mickey assures her he's single and that he genuinely likes her. He admits he chose this place because he doesn't want to show his face in Lowell after the humiliating loss. Charlene understands and gently asks whether sticking with his family is the best choice for his boxing career. Meanwhile, Alice reaches out to Lou and eventually secures another fight for Mickey. His 6 sisters, all living at home, complain that Mickey can't be found anywhere because he's off with that loose girl, Charlene. Soon, the entire family gathers to discuss the new opportunity, and Mickey's sisters immediately show hostility toward Charlene. When Alice and Dickie explain the fight arrangement, Mickey tells them he's unhappy with how everything has been handled. Before he can explain further, Charlene steps in and says they threw him into a terrible matchup last time. The whole family clashes with Charlene, except George, who stays quiet. Dickie tries to smooth things over and says he'll find a way to raise money so Mickey can train full-time. Later, the HBO crew returns to film. Dickie's girlfriend asks what the documentary is actually about, and they reveal they're covering the effects of crack addiction to warn kids, not filming Dickie's big comeback, as he believes. That night, Dickie hatches a brilliant scheme where his girlfriend lures random men with promises of favors, and then they both impersonate cops to shake them down for cash. They pull off one setup, but when Dickie is rummaging through the victim's car, real police arrive. Dickie bolts and runs straight toward the bar where Mickey and the rest of the family are eating dinner. When the officers catch him, he starts fighting them. O'Keefe and Charlene beg Mickey not to interfere, but Mickey takes off after Dickie anyway. When they get outside, they see the cops beating Dickie. Mickey jumps in to defend him, but the officers turn on him too and arrest them both. At the court hearing, Mickey is released, but Dickie, now on his 27th arrest, faces several charges, and the judge sets his bail at $25,000. As they haul Dickie away, he begs Mickey to back up his story and say he acted in self-defense, but Mickey refuses, telling him he's done covering for him. Dickie is taken to prison, where the inmates sarcastically welcome him back. Meanwhile, Mickey goes to Charlene's place, but she won't let him inside. He tells her he's quitting boxing, and she calls him stupid for even considering it. Still upset, she keeps the door shut and he leaves. In jail, Dickie goes through brutal withdrawal. Time passes, and Mickey gains weight. When he walks around town, people whisper about him as Dickie's brother. O'Keefe finds him and encourages him to return to the gym like old times. He also warns Mickey not to watch the HBO documentary about Dickie, saying it's the reason everyone is starring. Back in prison, the other inmates mockingly call Dickie a Hollywood star because he has his own movie. They gather around the TV to finally watch the documentary everyone's been talking about. The opening, a report on crack addiction, is oddly entertaining to the inmates. At home, Alice and the sisters break down in tears as they watch it, keeping Dickie's son from seeing the worst parts. Mickey even calls Jimmy, his ex's husband, and tells him not to let Casey watch it. As the film goes on, the documentary reveals the ugly truth of Dickie's addiction and ends with the footage of his arrest. Furious, Dickie shuts off the TV, sparking a brawl in the prison. That night, Charlene hears about the documentary and rushes to Mickey's house, hugging him tightly. Meanwhile, Dickie finds a quiet corner in the prison and breaks down in tears. The next morning, Mickey finally gets up with a sense of purpose and heads back to the gym. His injured hand has healed enough to start working again, though he still needs time to recover fully. Over the next days and months, Mickey trains hard with O'Keefe, rebuilding strength and confidence. Eventually, George introduces him to a businessman named Sal Lanano, who's interested in managing his career. Sal sets Micky up with a small local fight to help him regain confidence, since it's been so long since he stepped into the ring. O'Keefe and Charlene tell Micky they'll keep training him only if he promises not to let Alice or Dickie interfere again, and Micky agrees. When George gets home, Alice loses it and starts throwing plates at him for betraying her. He argues back, saying Sal Lanano is a legitimate businessman, not some scam artist. When the sisters rush in, one of them reluctantly admits that maybe George is right and their mother's way hasn't worked. But the rest blame Charlene, insisting she's the reason everything is falling apart. The women pile into the car and drive straight to Charlene's house, right as Charlene and Micky are making out. Micky begs Charlene not to go outside, but she refuses to hide from his family. When they step out, Alice tries to stay calm and says Micky can make his own decisions, but the sisters immediately start calling Charlene a skank and tell her to shut up. Micky snaps and tells Alice she's no longer his manager. The sisters and Charlene get into a physical fight, and Micky has to drag Charlene back inside to stop it from getting worse. Weeks later, Micky and his new team head to his first local fight against Hernandez. Micky knocks him out in the second round with a fast flurry of punches. He then fights Manetti and takes him out, too. After that, he faces Collins and wins again. Micky is officially on a hot streak. Not long after, Micky visits Dickie in prison to tell him directly that he's switched teams. He mentions his upcoming fight against Sanchez. When Dickie starts talking like he wants to coach him, Micky cuts him off and tells him to just be happy for him. Dickie asks what his game plan is, and Micky eventually says he's planning to go toe-to-toe and land an overhand in the middle rounds. Dickie immediately disagrees, telling him to wear the guy down and attack the body, the same head-and-body strategy he always taught him. Micky gets frustrated, refuses to listen, and walks out. On the day of the fight, Micky can't land a single punch and just keeps absorbing hits from Sanchez. The crowd boos, and his family watches in disappointment, convinced things are only going downhill. Alice calls Dickie to complain that Micky's performance is embarrassing, but Dickie insists he's doing exactly what he told him to do. During the break, O'Keefe and Charlene tell Micky he's not following the plan at all. By the 7th round, he's still taking a beating without defending himself, and the referee even considers stopping the fight because Micky isn't fighting back. But in the next round, Micky finally switches to the head-and-body tactic. He lands a devastating shot to Sanchez's kidney, shutting him down, and Micky wins the fight. The crowd explodes in disbelief and cheers. Afterward, Sal tells Micky that Sanchez had been fighting for a title shot, and now Micky is officially the #1 contender. 8 months later, Dickie is released from prison, and Alice brings his son to pick him up. When they arrive at the gym, everyone goes quiet, shocked to see Dickie back. He heads into the locker room to prepare to train Micky, only for Micky to tell him that he signed a deal promising he'd never train with Dickie again. Dickie is annoyed but agrees to walk away. When Alice hears this, she insists Micky could never have beaten Sanchez without Dickie's help. An argument breaks out in the gym, and when they look to Micky for confirmation, he says he wouldn't have made it this far without O'Keefe, Charlene, and Sal. Trying to calm everyone down, Micky admits he wants to work with all of them. O'Keefe, Charlene, and yes, Dickie too. Charlene and O'Keefe get upset and decide to leave. Alice tells Micky everything happens for a reason and encourages him to start training with Dickie right there. Things quickly spiral, and in the heat of the moment, Micky knocks Dickie out. Humiliated, Dickie gets up, grabs the cake from his welcome-back party, and storms out. George tries to stop him, worried he'll end up back at the crack house. Dickie eventually ends up back at the crack house, where the people there light up when they see him. Someone asks if he wants to come inside, but he simply hands over the cake, looks at the house for a moment, and walks away without saying anything. From there, he goes to Charlene's place, but she immediately tells him to get off her porch. After a moment, she comes down to talk. Dickie tells her he wants to set things right because he knows Micky loves her, and he doesn't want her to leave him. She finally agrees to come back. Later, Micky arrives, and he tells Dickie he'll train with him again, on the condition that O'Keefe returns too. Over the next several weeks, the brothers train hard together as they prepare for the championship fight against a boxer named Neary. The day before the match, both Neary and Micky attend a press conference. Neary mentions he's looking to face someone on the level of Arturo Gatti, but Micky simply says he's grateful for the opportunity. Fight night arrives. the World Boxing Welterweight Championship, where Neary is the reigning champion. As Micky enters the arena, the crowd boos him, while Neary receives loud cheers. Right before the bout starts, Neary refuses to shake Micky's hand, making the tension clear. Commentators explain that Micky is known for being slow and patient, waiting for the right moment, while Neary is known for exploding out of the gate. The first round is all Neary. The commentators warn that Micky needs to increase his pace. In the next round, Neary continues to deliver heavy hits, though Micky manages to land a few shots of his own. By round 6, it looks like Neary is firmly in control. Then, Neary drives Micky against the ropes and knocks him down, though Micky pops right back up. After another hard hit, the referee steps in for a break. By the 8th round, things look bleak. Dicky urges Micky not to fold, not after everything he's endured. He tells him to use all that pain and fight for himself and for the family. In the following round, Neary corners Micky again, hammering him with punches. Suddenly, Micky sees his moment and lands a sharp uppercut that makes Neary stumble. He follows it up with head and body combinations, connecting again and again. Moments later, Micky sends Neary crashing to the canvas. Micky wins, and the arena erupts. His entire family celebrates. Micky Ward has just become the World Boxing Welterweight Champion.